See that? It is 57 degrees. The weather is changing. Last couple of days, honestly week and a half, it has been 87 degrees or hotter out here. Felt like August, July. This week starts the cold front. Next week there's lows in the high 20s, highs in the low 40s. It's getting to be that time of the year. So we are on our way to the woods again, only for the fourth sit of the year. It's kind of been a hot start. I've been just waiting for cold weather, waiting for deer action to pick up. Tonight we're going to a new spot that I've never hunted before. I only scouted, and I'm kind of excited to get back there. I don't know what it's going to bring. I don't know if we're going to see anything tonight, but I'm excited to get back there and see what it looks like. It's a bedding area that has a lot of trails coming out of it. There's a really old deer stand that's been there for God knows how long. So you know it's a good spot when you got one of those around. So we're gonna walk back there. It's about a 600-700 yard walk from the car, and get set up and see when you get back there. I made it back here. I don't love the tree that I picked. It's also really thick back in here. But anyway, I walked back into this piece probably last week sometime. And out in front of me is just a really, really big bedding area, or what I would consider to be a bedding area. I just walked along the outside of it, and there are trails going in and out of there every 15-20 yards. There's like a little ditch or a creek that's 15-20 yards in front of us that they use to walk. There's tracks all over that creek. There's a tree right in front of me that has an old stand in it with the screw-in steps. Looks like it hasn't been used in 25-30 years. It's been off and on raining all day, so it's a little damp back here, so hearing the deer walking might be a little tough, but hopefully something's bedded out that way and starts filtering this direction. You know, as I sit here and I look at that old stand, it's just the really cool part about being an outdoorsman and being a hunter is the stories. And maybe that stand was there and the guy never shot anything, or girl, and eventually I just stopped using it, but somebody down the line in my life always told me, if you're walking through the woods and you see an old stand, it's probably in a good spot. When I was scouting this area today, I found all these trails and the tracks in the creek, and I looked up and there was this old stand sitting there. It just made sense. So it's just interesting to sit here and look at that and think about the stories that thing's probably got. It's pretty cool. about 6:30. And with the first day of the cold front, it's a little cloudy. It gets dark a lot faster. Got about 10 minutes left, but we won't be able to see in 5. Had that little Delaware fawn come through about 15 minutes ago. It's kind of figured where the movement would come from, was that direction. But I'm not in love with the tree that I picked. I think I gotta be in the tree that the old stand is in. I just can't see much from this spot. I don't have many shot opportunities out of here. It's probably gonna call it a night for here though. I'm gonna put a camera up and see what's hitting this trail. I like this spot a lot. I will be back here, just in a different tree. But other than that, weather's getting colder. Deer are gonna be on their feet. The best time of the year is coming right around the corner here, so hopefully it gets wild and freaky and fun here in about a week or 2. It is Saturday, October 11th, and this week's kind of been the first cold front of the year. It is currently, my car says 36. I don't necessarily know if it feels like 36. It's a little humid outside actually. But either way, we are going back into a spot that I have had a camera up over since like September 9th, something like that. It is a area that I found just by walking around. Literally stumbled on it. It was not a map scouting thing. I just was walking around aimlessly and I found it. And it's a scrape that is made by the Bucks. Normally in the past I've tried to set up mock scrapes that just don't work. So it was fun to find one that was already there, and I put a camera up over it, and I'll flip through some of these pictures. I've only gotten 2 does on the camera since. Otherwise, it's been bucks almost every day. Unfortunately, right now they're a little bit in the dark times, but there has been a few either right before first light or right after first light. So they're around, I'm hoping, during the daylight. So it is a long walk. It's over a mile back in there. So that's why we're here at 5 o'clock. We got an hour and a half to get ready. We're gonna walk back there and we're gonna set up, and there's a couple bucks back there that I would be tickled to put an arrow through. So we're gonna get ready. We're gonna start walking. It's very calm. My fear is I'm gonna bump something on the way in, just on a long walk. I've been waiting for the right wind. It's north wind today, which is perfect for this spot. So I'm excited, a little nervous, but I'm excited, and I'll see you in the daylight. All right, we made it back here. I surprisingly didn't spook anything on the way in. We got back in here and I climbed a tree that was too small. So I had to climb all the way back down and pick a different tree. Once it gets a little later, I'll show you the setup, but it's October 11th,
It's 36 degrees. And I'm sitting over a fresh scrape with bugs that hit this thing every day. It's go time. It's the youth season. So I'm supposed to be wearing orange. And I had it on until it fell off and is now on the ground. What a start. mistake when I came in here, when I scouted this piece. And I didn't pick a tree. And so when I came in here in the dark this morning, I had no idea what I was doing. I wanted to set up so there's a trail in front of me, and then there's the scrape down here that my camera's over. was up here, but I got the perfect wind this morning of what wind there is, and he just couldn't figure me out. A couple shots have rung out around me, so hopefully the youth are knocking them down today. And also pushing them back into me back here. 7:49. A lot of time left. Well, I think that's going to do it for me this morning. It's about 10 o'clock. Just the one spike. But I gained some intel this morning, which is good. Don't set up here. I don't know how that happened. Like I mentioned before, I got in here and I was going to set up in this tree right there. But it was too small for the climber. So I climbed a quarter of the way up and decided not to do it. And in my head, I knew I wanted to be facing that direction, that way. So I'm walking just a couple yards to the right. But somehow I got up here, thought I got it good, thought I had a good tree. And then once it gets light out, I turn around and my camera was behind me. I was like, what? I don't know. You never know with me. You never know what you're gonna get. But anyway, the buck that I saw this morning, my camera did not get a picture of it for some reason. So I'm gonna get down and move the camera a little bit just so I can shoot down this lane that they use. There's a pretty heavy trail that goes out to the scrape right about there. And then there's bedding back in this direction. And there's bedding back in, there's bedding back in this direction. So the bucks use this lane right here as a travel corridor, or this spot, this trail over here. And like I said, I have not gotten many does on camera. It has been all bucks. And some nice ones too, so we will be back here in a different tree at some point. But I'm gonna get down, go get some breakfast, and this evening I am going to go hunt with my wife at a property that we have permission to hunt at. So might be on doe patrol tonight. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Other than that, we'll see you this afternoon. I saw that this morning on the walk in, and I almost called an audible and sat right here because that's a big scrape. And it was worked this morning or last night. I mean, there's fresh buck tracks in it and a wet spot in the middle. So it's an option in the future. I might come in here like Monday night and sit right there. Something got mad at the ground there. But we'll see. Off to breakfast. Alright, it's the afternoon of October 11th. Me and the wife. She said she didn't want to be in it, but she didn't know I was going to do that. We are at the property that I've hunted in the last video that I posted. We have moved locations slightly. Last time I was here, we hunted on the field edge. I decided to move back off of that just because it's really hard to find a tree to sit in, and then obviously with Courtney here, it was just a lot easier to get into the blind. So we are on the back edge of the property that we're about as far as we possibly can go. We can't go any farther back. The idea behind this is there's a trail that runs probably 15, 20 yards in front of us off to our right. And there's another one that cuts the field edge side about 25, 30 yards off in front. Last time I was here and last year when I hunted, a lot of the deer don't even go out into the field until dark. They use this field edge trail that is going to be in front of us before they end up going out there. The last time I was here, that little buck that I had on camera came right off this trail that is off to my right. So it's going to be close quarters. We won't be able to see him for very long. We'll be able to hear him though. It's calm enough to hear him. Like I mentioned this morning, that buck I heard this morning, I could hear coming from a mile away. So we did jump one deer on the way in. I don't know what it was. Hopefully it doesn't go too far. I do have a buddy of ours that's hunting like 100 yards down to the left of us. He's in a big tree stand, so we got two guys covering like 6 acres. See how it goes. I think that's going to wrap it up for us. We got big Cubs fan back here. Never mind. There's a deer coming. Here. Anyway, as I was saying, we got a big Cubs fan back here, so we gotta get out of here. We gotta go watch the Cubs lose, so that's probably gonna do it for this video. It's already about 20-some minutes long, so we'll start over again on Monday. Gonna take tomorrow off, I think. Then we might go back to that spot that we found this morning with the scrape. Not sure yet. Temperatures are just only gonna get colder as the week goes on. Next weekend, there's some really cold temperatures, and the following weekend after that is high in the 40s, lows in the mid to high 20s. So be that time of the year, but we're gonna pack up out of here. You got anything wise to say?
Go Cubs, go.
I knew that was coming. All right, we'll see you on the next one.